Diane, the Creative Inkster, and today is Monday, November 7th, 2022, and we're going to make a side opening card with a twist. I have, like many of you, I'm sure, many sheets of 12 by 12 patterned paper. We call it Designer Series paper with the Stampin' Up! World, and I can't get to using it all. So this is a way to help kind of use that up. And so we're actually making our card base out of this piece that was 12 by 12. It's going to measure 4 1/4 by 12, and I'm going to show you how to fold this back and really get your most out of it. My thanks for seeing this online, and I will share that information in my post. Alrighty, if you're there watching live, do let me know. I'd love to hear from you and get your comments and thoughts on this card layout. And if you're watching the replay, please leave a message and I'll reach back out to you. I really appreciate all your comments and I read them all. So let's get started with this one. Like I said, first thing you need is a piece of 12 by 12. And it kind of matters if it's directional. So if you look at this piece I have here, I don't think I want it to go kind of this way, right? I want it to go this way. So you want to look at your paper both sides and make sure directionally it's going to work in this layout. Okay, so that is 12 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to have my pattern running this way, so I'm going to cut out 4 1/4 here. So let's get that lined up. There we go. We'll keep this piece for another project. Excuse me. And so we're going to open the arm up. What we're going to do is a couple of quick score lines. We're going to score it at 5 1/2 and 11. What this does, this is my right side to the card, or the outside that I want to have shown is this pretty pattern, and this will be the inside on the opposite side. We're going to dress it up a little bit. So we've scored it at 5 1/2 and 11, and that's all we need the scoring for. Hi Krista, thanks for dropping in. I'm just going to tuck that over to the side. We'll fold it in half at 5 1/2 where that score line is. I need my bone folder. I'm going to make sure that we crease this nicely. And then we're going to fold this 1 inch where I scored it at 11. We're going to fold that back. And that just kind of adds a little decorative element to your card front. Now, in some papers, the front and the back don't particularly coordinate well. I mean, had this one been where the paper direction had been the other way, it wouldn't probably have worked. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you're choosing the paper. Hi, Vicki. Oh no, I'm sorry that you got a cold. That's not a way to come home from a holiday. That's not the souvenir you want to keep. I hope you're feeling better soon. Here we go. So we folded this 1 inch flat back. We're going to glue it down in place. I'm going to grab my liquid glue to do that. You use your favorite. So this piece was 4 1/4 by 12. We scored it at 5 1/2 and 11. Alrighty. And then for the inside, we're going to put a piece that measures, oops, sorry, I have a little bit of glue that got its way on there. I'm going to put a piece on the inside that's a mat, and this is cardstock, which will give this card just a little bit of stability. And this piece measures 5 by 3 3/4. You could most definitely make it 4 by 5 1/4 if you wanted. It could be bigger, whatever you like. And then I've got a piece of white on which I'm going to write my message or do some more stamping if I want. But the whole idea about these cards is they're quick and fast and easy and simple and elegant. So I'm going to glue this on the inside. So let's put these two layers together. And then I have lots to write my message to say to my people what's been going on this year, special greetings. If you find the white is too much for writing, because maybe these are people you see all the time and you just want to give them Christmas greetings or holiday greetings, you can put a stamped image or be that words or any other kind of focal image that will look nice on the inside. Okay, so this is going to glue centered in past that 5.5-inch mark. So let's glue this guy in, and then we'll work on our greeting. So I originally planned that I would die cut this piece of soft suede out of the back of this, thinking, oh, you'll never see it, it'll be hidden. But actually, with the white on front and the lighter paper, you actually do see the hole. So maybe not the paper to reserve and punch your outer parts out of. So white cardstock. Oh, what was the size? So this is 5 by 3 3/4, and then 4 3/4 by 3.5. So 4 3/4 wide by 3.5 long. Just a little bit layered in smaller. All right, and then the outside, like I said, these are pretty darn quick. I've got a circle from the Layering Circles dies and my Very Best Occasion stamp set, which I like this one. It has all kinds of greetings like birthday, thinking of you, comfort and joy, comfort and love, and then a couple of Christmas ones. So I'm going to use that same Christmas one, which is, may your days be happy, your heart be light, your Christmas be merry, and the new year bright. It's nice. I like that. And that's, I'm going to go on to my circle here, and it like just fits. My circle is from the Layering Circles, and it's just a hair under 2.5 inches. Get my cherry cobbler out, because that's one of the colors in this paper. So you want to coordinate your colors if you can. But if you don't have something to coordinate with, try just going with black. That'll be just totally fine. Put that on there. There we go. And then that's going to layer onto the soft succulent. Giving it a second here just to dry. And then I can dress this up a little bit, because there is a little bit, had I used a square or more rectangular shaped layer for the greeting, there wouldn't be as much white space showing. But I kind of like that because it gives me room to add stuff. So I have the gold shimmer ribbon. So I'm going to do a bow with that. My bows are really simple. You can do the make 2 bunny ears version. The left one goes over the right and through the hole. And then you just play with it from there. That's a really simple way of doing one. Or I just roll it over my right index finger. I know people use forks and bow tying and stuff like that. I never have those things handy in my craft room. So I roll this over my index finger. I pull a piece from the back around and then push it through the hole that's there. And depending on the kind of ribbon that you have, it will be more pliable or a little firmer and less pliable. And then you can just play with it a little bit to get it in the right way for your right size and the right sort of way it's going to land. Grab my scissors. I don't like to waste any. Sometimes I just manage to, no matter what. I think these scissors need a sharpening. But that's not too much. That's just a little bit of waste, right? So that's why I do them on the roll. It makes it a little bit less wasteful. And then I'm going to put this down here near the bottom with a glue dot. Ribbons and glue dots seem to go well together. So we have our boxed glue dots here, or if you get the Paper Pumpkin subscription every month, you get a whole bunch of those. And they're a really nice mini glue dot. There we go. This one lies fairly flat, so it's not too big for mailing. Just going to trim that other little piece off. And I'm going to stick it over to the right on here with some dimensionals, because I do like to pop my cards up. Do you like to do that? I think that adding a little bit of dimension is always a good thing. Can't hurt. I'm going to show you another version of the same card and how you can get even a little more out of your 12 by 12 papers. So we'll add a little embellishment. See, I've got the Festive Pearls. You're on back order right now, not available till sometime in December. That's kind of sad. I love these. I've used them a lot. Let's see, where will we put them? Just kind of, I want them to show. So I'm going to put them near the greens and the whites. And maybe one over here. There we go. 3 is a good number. The uneven numbers or odd numbers are a good way to go. There we go. There's our finished card. So how quickly could you whip those up? A few embellishments, even if you used rhinestones, a piece of paper, and a little bit of cardstock. But let me show you another way to get more out of your 12 by 12. So we cut this guy here at 4 1/4. If we cut it at 4 inches, you'll get 3 cards out of a piece of 12 by 12. Now I know I'm not going to get that now because I already cut one at 4 1/4. But cut it at 4 inches and let's see what kind of a difference that might make. We want to score this at 5 1/2, well, obviously along the 12-inch side, and 11. And that's not hard and fast. You can make your edge come over more if you like. It just means your inside piece might need to be adjusted. Fold it in half, 5 1/2, and furnish it. Like these could be made in like in no time. And then here's that 1 inch score line. We're going to furnish that guy back. And then I've got these pieces here, which are a little bit different sized. So I'm going to have a little bit extra over there. I didn't perfectly align that, but that's fine. I'm totally fine if it's not a perfect centering. So this piece is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So I get that same nice border on the top. So that was 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Stick this in the center because it needs to be a little bit smaller than this original one. And then here's my white. So it measures 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. And that's going to go on the inside here. Now, out of this now, I'm getting 3 cards. So I kind of feel like that's a way better use of my paper. And honestly, it really doesn't matter when you go to stick this in an envelope because it's smaller than the standard 4 1/4, so it's going to go even better. Oh, whoopsie. Should have moved that over a little bit. Learn from my experience and move this over just a little bit. Sorry, I left that out, and so it's going to show a little bit. That's okay. I'm fine with that. It just gives much more texture because we're going to see something more. In fact, I might stamp something along the edge there. Okay, so let's get back to the greeting. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for popping in. Get our greeting on here. Maybe somebody will get this really neat one and unique one in the mail. They may just. I think I could make a whole bunch of these in like no time. So I'm going to leave that piece showing there. And then I'm going to put this on here. Actually, I think I might even put my jewels there this time around. Okay, I'm going to flip this guy over, add our dimensionals, pop this guy up. Do another bow. Look at that, 2. And if I hadn't been talking and messing about, I'd gotten even more than 2 done in the space of 20 minutes. How do you like that, your 20-minute creative workout? There we go. I'm going to use my Way Better ribbon scissors and stick that guy on there. Oop. There they are. Find the glue dots. One glue dot should be enough for a bow. There we go. Check out my Facebook page tomorrow for an interesting way to make another type of bow. I'm going to be posting that tomorrow morning. And then we're going to stick the red jewels down the side and make it look like it was intended to have this interesting piece showing through. We just space them out evenly. None is the wiser. Look at that. I like it. I think it turned out great, and then they won't be as high up on the embossed piece for going through the mail. It'll be a little more even and flat. All right, that's it for me tonight. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. It's an interesting layout for sure, and let me know if you give it a try. Oh, you know what? I bet I cut this one just a little bit longer. Oh, maybe I didn't score it at 5.5. Ah, that's what happened. I didn't score it at exactly the same spot. Nobody caught that. I scored it at, let's see, I scored it at 6 instead of 5.5. Well, that's a happy happenstance. I can actually trim this piece off and it'll fit perfectly still in an envelope. Let's do that now because you know what's going to happen. I'm going to get this ready to put in an envelope and go, why doesn't this fit in an envelope? So we will trim this down a little bit. It makes it look even more embellished nicely. That will fit into an envelope and voila. 1, 2, and then my original one with this fun Celebrate Today paper. All right, give it a whirl. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.